Do you want to be a better leader? Do you want to understand how to balance EQ with IQ? In today's video, I'm going to show you how empathy can make you more of an effective leader and get your teams to be more productive, inspired, and motivated. Hey y'all, it's Rico, and I'm here to talk about one of the most important things of being a leader: empathy. A lot of people think that being a good leader is about barking orders, controlling the environment, telling people what to do, but it's not. If you really want to inspire loyalty and motivate your teams and get them on board with your vision, it's important to lead with empathy. Show that you can be a human and you can understand people. So in this video, I'm going to explain what empathy is and how you can use that to complement your leadership style. Let's go. First, let's define what is empathy and why it's important. Empathy is the ability to share and understand the feelings of another person. It's an important emotion and it helps us connect as people. It helps us build relationships and feel compassion. It allows us to put ourselves in other people's shoes and to understand the world from their perspective. It's a key ingredient to developing strong relationships and promoting positive interactions. Without it, we wouldn't be able to understand or even care about other people's experiences. We'd be less likely to offer support or help when people need it the most. And that's when they're going through tough times, whether it's personally or professionally. Being able to feel that when you see somebody that's struggling in some way, shape, or form, that's empathy. Without that, we'd be more impulsive. We would act more selfishly, not thinking about what would happen to the other person or the ramifications of our decisions. To say it simply, empathy just makes us better human beings. It makes us more compassionate, more caring, and more understanding. And that's why it's important for any leader. There are different types of empathy. There's cognitive, emotional, and compassionate. Cognitive empathy is the ability to understand another person's perspective and see things from their point of view. Emotional empathy is to be able to understand a person's emotions and feelings and what they may be feeling in the moment. Compassionate empathy is the ability to feel concern for another person's welfare and make sure that they're okay and to take action to help them. And all three types of empathy are important. For example, cognitive empathy is great for conversations. So when you are in a debate or you're having a discussion, it's easier for you to see the other person's perspective and to understand their point of view. For emotional empathy, if you want to build relationships and build a connection with other people, this is what allows us to share joy, pain, love, sorrow. It's that emotional empathy that lets us share those emotions. And the compassionate empathy, it's important for altruism and benevolence. And that motivates us to help other people in need. So empathy is a complex emotion and it plays a huge role in just our general social lives, whether it's social personally or social professionally. So that's why it's important to balance empathy, which is the EQ, with the smarts, which is the IQ. So as a leader, when you are asking teams to do their best work or you're having discussions, don't always assume your perspective is the right perspective. Take the time to be curious, understand where your team is coming from when they're making decisions. What context do they have? What are they thinking about? Ask them about their thought process or have them walk you through their thought process so then you can better understand their perspective, how they crafted their opinion, and where the decisions came from. This way it'll help you build more trust, build a relationship, and build a common understanding between you and your team members. So next time you're trying to make a decision, try to take a step back and really think about how that decision will impact the entire organization and try to see it from their perspective. So next I want to talk about some benefits to using empathy in your leadership style. There are tons of examples of leaders who've used empathy to do great things. So the first example is Mahatma Gandhi. He was one of the most effective political leaders in history who was a great human being and very empathetic. He used this attribute to his success and it really gave him the ability to not only empathize with his opponents, but help provide them with perspective. So his quote, "I cannot conceive of any greater strength than that which empathy gives," he said. Another great example is Nelson Mandela. So he was able to achieve peace in South Africa when it was fraught with war, because he was able to empathize with both sides of the conflict. His quote, "If you talk to a man in a language he understands, that goes to his head. If you talk to him in his own language, that goes to his heart." So that is powerful. If you talk to somebody in just a language they understand, logic isn't always the best way to get to somebody. Really, if you want real change, is to speak to them through the heart. Empathy helps do that. So the bottom line is empathy is a powerful tool for any leader. If you want to be successful, start trying to see things from your team's perspective or your peers' perspective or whoever it is that you're having a discussion with. And we all know that person in the office or wherever that just gets you. They instinctively know how you're feeling, what you need, even more, probably better than we know ourselves. So that's how someone is incorporating it into their leadership style. So to get there, you want to put yourself in other people's shoes. This doesn't mean you assume exactly how they feel, but rather you're trying to understand their perspective. What might they be thinking in this situation? Why would they be reacting this way? So just being genuinely curious and thinking about why they're reacting, what are they thinking, how is this affecting them? Second is pay attention to both verbal and nonverbal cues. Words can definitely give us some insight into how someone's feeling, but the things they're not saying can speak volumes. So things to look for is someone crossing their arms. Are they distracted? Is their voice trembling or tight? Are they leaning back? Like, these are things that can tell you how a person is feeling emotionally in the moment. So pay attention to those nonverbal cues. Third is be curious. Ask them how they're feeling. Genuinely ask them how they're feeling. Ask them about their family. Get to know them as a person. If you get to know someone as a person, then you'll get to understand why or how they show up in a personal and professional environment. And this genuine curiosity shows that you care and that you want to understand. And finally, resist the urge to solve. There's not a solution to everything. So in some cases, people just want to be heard, not fixed. Sometimes just being a sounding board for someone to hear their thoughts, their feelings, can make a huge difference to them. So sometimes you just need to sit back and listen. So hopefully this was helpful. Hopefully now you understand that empathy is a very powerful tool. It can help us connect with others, understand perspectives, and build strong relationships. It's no wonder that empathy is an important part of leadership, right? When we lead with empathy, we create an environment where people feel heard, feel understood, appreciated, which builds trust, collaboration, and innovation. In this video, we explored different types of empathy, and I gave you a few tips that you can use to develop your own skills. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, please share it with some friends, some colleagues. Give us a thumbs up, and don't forget to leave a comment below. Let me know what you think, and we will see you next time.